Welcome back to another episode of Lost in the Farmer's Market Garden Shorts. Today we're going to be talking about marigolds. Now, bias disclaimer here, I always plant marigolds in every garden that I either design or personally have had. They're one of the first annuals I ever successfully grew from seed, and so inevitably they're one of my long-term favorites. Now what you're looking at is Tagetes tenuifolia lemon gem. This is a signet marigold, a single small marigold that's technically considered a wild marigold. Tenuis, or from the second portion of the Botanical Latin name, means thin, and folia means leaf, and I think you can see why it got that name. These little plants can get up somewhere between 10 to 12 inches tall. They are 100% edible. In fact, this is the marigold they talk about when they say you can put marigolds in salads. They aren't as pungent as American marigolds, and they have enough foliage and enough flowers to make for a decent addition to a salad or as garnish. But this is just one of three types of marigold we'll be discussing today. Now we're going to go over to the second one. And the second one is seen here. We have two different specimens. The bright orange one is Tagetes patula. That's the French marigold. This variety is called Fireball, and I think you know why. Here's the weird thing though. French marigolds aren't even French. They're actually native to Mexico and Central America and were brought to Europe in the 16th century. They are very popular in France, where their hybridization continued to keep them in their current form. They get to anywhere from 6 to 18 inches tall. They have a longer bloom season than African marigolds. And they were considered, ironically, an old school flower by the 19th century. The best part about them is that they don't get the molds on the flowers like other marigolds might. The downside of them is that the myth that marigolds repel snails and things is false when you're talking about French marigolds, which will be destroyed by slugs. Now next to them, and unfortunately not yet in bloom, are what we used to call African marigolds. African marigolds aren't actually African. That's, again, another interesting misnomer. You see, these two came from South America. They were used in ritual. They are the sacred flower of the dead. And their scientific name is Tagetes errecta. Oh my. They're now called the American marigolds, which is a more accurate name for their origins. They can be 24 inches to 34 inches tall. They often have 3-inch double blooms, and this variety is Giant Mission, the largest chrysanthemum bloom type of marigold that you can get, exclusively through Burpee, actually. Their original Aztec name is Cempasúchil. I'm not going to spell that out. It took work to learn how to pronounce that properly. But it appeared in the Aztec Herbal of 1552 and was brought to Spain in the 1500s. It was transported then to Africa and selected to be taller, which is how it got the false name African marigold. Now I'm going to show you proof of that slug claim. Gross. That's a beer trap. Basically the trick is you get some rot gut beer, you put it in a little saucer, and you watch the slug genocide unfold. These 4 Fireball marigolds have been torn up by slugs, and then the pill bugs come in to clean up afterwards. I do have to empty that disgusting tray. Blech. But anyway, that's marigolds in a nutshell, folks. Now they're a tall, stately flower with multiple forms, and their colors are ranging now from white to the reddest of reds. In fact, there is a variety that we have on the growing tray called Signet Red, and boy, is it red. There are odorless versions, though I can't see the point in that, but some people want that. And then, of course, there is Tagetes lucida, or Mexican tarragon, which I don't have a representative of, but it's a tarragon substitute. for most growing areas. In fact, let me show you something over here. Well, there is another case of the beard trap killing off a lot of stuff that was damaging the marigolds. These ones will recover. I'm not so sure about the other ones. But I think that's enough for today. I will have another episode soon. Oh, and I should point out, this was filmed using a Cannon Powershot, not my cell phone. Let me know what you think. Leave comments. Leave suggestions. I love to hear back from you folks. Keep them growing.